Hi guys, Alon Sage from Coils Boutique here, and this is a very exciting video because today we're gonna address a very specific and very important topic, which is the resonance of electric guitars and basses. Well, those of you who are into the business know that there are two types of people that like to fight between them about the idea of resonance. The first group will be the group that say that resonance is crucial for the tone of the electric guitar, and the other group will be the group that says that it's absolutely complete bull and there's absolutely no reason for guitar makers to use very expensive, very resonative woods for the tone of their guitars. And today we're gonna experiment a little bit about the topic and make a few tests. I'll explain everything as we go along, and hopefully we could answer a few questions like, is there really a difference between resonance of different guitars? And if so, how important is it, and how much resonance really affects the tone? And let the fun begin. For our first experiment, we're going to use these two basses. These are Fender jazz-based 75 reissue. One is from 2008 and the other is from 2011. Other than this, they're exactly identical. They have the same woods, same hardware, and even the same set of strings by the same manufacturer. What we're gonna do here is I'm gonna play a line on one bass, and then we'll replace and remove the pickup from it and place the exact same pickups on another guitar, on the other guitar, and play the exact same line, and we can compare the two recordings to see if there is a difference between those two basses. And because we're using the same pickups and same set of strings and basically the same guitars, if according to the people who say that resonance doesn't really matter, we can actually hear that there is no difference in tone. We'll even measure the pickup heights between the two guitars to make sure that everything is as perfect as possible for this experiment. And let's try it, and let's try to hear a difference if there is one. I have these two waveforms over here from the recording, and we can actually see that the waves, they're quite similar, but they're definitely not identical. Like this spot here and this spot here are definitely not identical, and here there's much difference. And going down to the spectrometers, we can actually see visually that the EQ of both guitars are not the same. I'll just stop it in a second and we can figure out the differences. Alright. As you can see, this bass, which is the 2008, has much more range between the 500 and the 1K, and it has a huge peak over here at the 1.8, and it's much lower for the other bass for the same frequencies. And we can see that these parts really don't look the same, not the mid-range, and even the bass end, which is similar but not identical. Like the frequencies between 180 and 224 Hertz are definitely different in gain. Something here is definitely different between the two basses, as you can see. Okay. All right. Playing the two waveforms, we can see that once again they are not similar, although created with the same pickup on basically the same guitar, and even the spectrum analyzer can detect differences in the peak frequencies. They are not the same. You can take a look over here and see the differences in shapes of frequencies, and exactly the same happens in the bass. Just it's not the same. It's literally not the same. And these are the differences for this guitar, which is actually quite significant, way more than I thought it would be. Okay, for this experiment we can see the differences are not as great as the test before, but there are still some differences, and we can actually hear it when playing in the room. And the major differences are the highest frequencies. There's some differences in the middle position, in the mid frequencies, especially around the 500 Hertz, and we can see slight differences in the bass frequencies as well. This is much more subtle, but there are still differences when absorbing the resonance of the headstock. When comparing these two waveforms, we can see they're not the same, and there are differences, of course, as the person plays it, but the EQ and the spectrometer actually catches something that is much more significant than what happened with the guitar, with around the 2K and all the bass response around the 50 Hertz and 200 Hertz, and above about 300 Hertz. They're literally not the same, and we could hear it when we play it in the room, and I hope you can actually hear it when using your phones at home. Hopefully you do have pretty decent phones, but it's hearable and visible. So there is a change when absorbing the resonance of a headstock of a guitar and the bass. What the fuck? No, I can't say this. What the hell is going on here? How come that the same guitar sounds differently when holding the headstock? How come that same pickups sound different on different guitars? Well, the mechanics and physics of it are quite simple and quite remarkable. The thing is that we need to remember is that the string is not connected to nothing. The string actually is connected to pieces of wood and pieces of metal, like the bridge and the neck and the frets. And when the string vibrates, it vibrates and making everything else vibrate with it. As you know, there are huge differences between an alder body and an ash body, and maple fretboard or rosewood fretboard. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are actual differences between each block of wood. You can remember one of my videos when building a one-piece guitar and me choosing between two blocks that came from the same trunk. To my ears, the differences between those two pieces of wood was very, very significant, but that's me. If you think that changes in resonance aren't that great to you and you don't feel that the differences we just showed you matter to you, well, that's great and that's fine, and you should choose whichever guitar is great for you. But when I build a guitar or maybe buy a guitar at the shop, I won't just test one guitar. I'll ask for the store owner or the guy who assists me to bring me 7 or 8 different instruments of the same kind, of the same model, and I will choose only one, because to me resonance is crucial. To me, those maybe 2%, 5%, 10%, I don't know how to quantify it, but for me it's crucial and very, very important. You should choose for yourself how important resonance is to you, but I can quite comfortably say that after testing and recording and seeing the differences, yes, resonance does matter in electric guitars and basses. Subscribe, share, like, you know the drill. All the best, guys.